We are now on to the 11th volume of Friendsim 2. Make sure to like and comment and maybe subscribe if you're feeling it in order to see more of Friendsim and Homestuck in general goodies. Let's get right on into the volume.
Alright everybody, welcome once again. We are back to Friendsim 2. I'm doing three volumes in one day, because at this point we're nearing the end of what we got currently, and by looking at this we have about, after one cast of Troll, we have about 3 more left to do. So I can't wait, that should be fun. I hope it actually comes out at some point, that'd be nice. But hey, let's not waste any time. All the stuff that I said before is still applicable now. None of it's changed because it's all been the same day. Let's get right on into it. Onward to the next volume, volume 11. We're going to the Purple Blood ship. One cast of Troll, volume 11. Let's rock. This route contains content warnings for depiction of death, depiction of state and institutional violence, discussion of dead bodies, medical trauma, sudden loud noises. Player discretion is advised. After a while, Vicaire switches on the ship's autopilot and walks back into the cabin, where you've been sitting, strapped to one of the jump seats for the past hour. I got an alert, hold on. Oh yeah, they did knock out... Malik did knock out the things. Just gonna move this over a little bit. For the past hour. This isn't, if you're being honest, a very comfortable ship. Zabed is way better. Like, at least upgraded to business class on a long flight better.
Well, my friend, that's probably on account of your friend's ship is likely a pleasure craft.
Yeah, sure, let's go with that for now.
As opposed to this here, which is a genuine Alternian combat vessel. Skips on the amenities a bit, but it gets the job done.
Speaking of ships...
Oh boy, I'll admit that seeing that thing launch was mighty impressive. Empress is gonna be furious though. Her brand new ship swiped from right under the fleet's noses. I expect some heads will roll after that, my friend. Some heads will roll indeed. On account of how they've been chopped off for failing the Empire, you see?
Yeah, you got that one already. You shift uncomfortably in your seat. Is this just about done?
Got another hour or so till we dock. Then you're free to unhook yourself and roam about the cabin and all that.
Is he really okay with this? Dropping you off on an Imperial ship, you mean? He's not putting himself in any danger or anything? Vicaire laughs.
Goodness no. You're some kind of rust blood, right?
Sure, yeah, let's go with that.
Why, there's a whole level of Spirulida just for us of the warmer hues. A lot of hard work to be had there. I'm sure they can always use more hands.
That's reassuring, you think? You're still trying to wrap your head around everything that's been happening, and the headache that keeps trying to punch its way out from behind your eyes really isn't helping. What would help is if you could answer a few questions. Alright, so what does the Spirulida actually do? So you know that Spirulida is somewhere that Purple Bloods live, clowns specifically even, but that doesn't really get the underlying question of what exactly the ship is for. Like, do they just kind of chill up there?
Why, that's a fantastic question. Really top shelf.
Okay, so he doesn't know?
Not a clue, my friend. I just go where they tell me and do what they tell me.
Sick. Okay, but if you had to guess, what do you think the ship is?
Given the size, I'd wager it's a permanent residency. Beyond that, I couldn't tell you. About as far from a purple blood as it's physically possible to get and all that.
Vicaire shrugs and smiles at you.
Best not to worry about it.
Okay, you still don't exactly love the situation. What kind of cargo you carrying?
Not entirely sure, my friend. Cargo hold's packed up with a bunch of storage containers, but I haven't a clue what they're storing.
Isn't that dangerous? Like, if he's hauling something potentially hazardous, doesn't he need to know so he can take appropriate precautions? Like, you don't think Tro OSHA is a thing or anything, but it seems like basic common sense.
Oh, no worries, friend. If it was something that can explode, they'd likely tell me. No sense getting all worked up over it.
Huh, not the most encouraging thing you've heard recently. You're being kept in the dark a lot more than you'd like. What are you planning to do now?
Now meaning when, exactly? Right now? Why, I'm planning to drop this cargo off per my very explicit orders.
Well, maybe skipping forward a little, what's he planning to do after dropping the cargo off? Vicaire grins and nods.
I hear you loud and clear, friend. Wondering what old Valkyrie's got in the works?
Valkyrie. Oh, like Valkyrie. Golly, I'm stupid as fuck. Vicaire. Where the fuck did I get Vicaire from? Valkyrie. It makes so much more sense for it to be Valkyrie because Valkyrie. I'm so unfathomably dumb. Valkyrie. Sure. What up, Valkyrie? Yes?
Why, I'm planning on keeping on with the Empire, following my orders and flying every chance I can get.
Huh.
And longer terms than that,
He pauses and frowns.
probably eventually die horribly in service of her imperious condescension. But that's just how life goes sometimes.
That's actually not how life goes. There are so many people where that specific situation doesn't apply at all. In fact, you've got a couple of things to say about that. If you spend a few minutes explaining the whole locked timeline thing to Valkyrie, who seems to get increasingly annoyed as you explain yourself.
Nonsense. I won't hear another word of that. Ridiculous notions of other universes and mad gods with shiny round heads. I got everything I need right here. And my friend, I'm happy with it. I'm not some attack pilot that'll be burned out in a sweep. I got real long-term prospects, you hear?
Ah, yes, long-term, as in the next, what, like 5 sweeps at max?
Another universe. Absolute nonsense, and I won't hear a word of it.
Okay, fine. Jeez, you're just trying to help. It's not like there's much else you can do right now. Hell, you're not even sure what the Spirulida looks like.
Why, that's an easy one. Take a look out the window, my friend.
Valkyrie slides... Vicary. Yeah, slides back the blast shield from one of the heavy windows on the side of the ship and gestures for you to come over. Carefully, you unbuckle yourself, walk over to take a look. Out in the distance, across a vast nothing of void of space, you can see a long dark shape blotting out the far stars. The ship is massive, big enough to be clearly seen even this far out, and covered with a series of almost organic shapes from one end to the other.
Real beauty, isn't she? Pride and joy of the Empire.
You're not sure that beauty is the word that comes to mind to describe what you're looking at so much as pure unadulterated terror, but there's no accounting for taste, right? Vicary shrugs.
Whatever you say, friend. We'll be docked there soon enough.
With that, Vicary strolls back to the ship's cockpit, and you're once again alone. You settle into the seat next to the window and continue to stare at you inch closer to Spirulida. Something about this thing just feels wrong. Like the moment in a sci-fi horror movie where the derelict ship first appears, followed by approximately 2 hours of relentless horror. Don't forget, like, the 30 minutes of setup leading up to it. And at this point, you prefer your life mostly free of terror, relentless or otherwise. Yeah, I imagine MS is getting pretty tired of all the... everything. So you settle into your seat, close your eyes, and hope desperately that things will go well.
Wake up, friend. Time for you to head on inside.
Alright. Why is it sideways? The first thing you notice you step in the ship is how incredibly empty it feels. The Eustacia wasn't exactly packed full of other trolls, but there were people there at least. Granted, your only other data point was a newly commissioned warship, specifically designed to carry a light crew, but still. This feels empty. Where is everyone?
Don't fret, my round-headed friend. This is merely the antechamber of the ship's lower levels.
Vicary looks nervous. You don't want to necessarily commit to that, but there's definitely a nervous energy there.
I will admit, being outside the confines of my ship is stepping out of my comfort zone a bit.
Well, he's free to step back into his comfort zone whenever. You already said you were going to explore a ship, and explore the ship you will. Somewhere up there, the purple bloods must be living, and that means there's a decent chance you can find some more people who you know.
Well, you have the best fun with that, my friend.
Good luck with dying. Without another word, Vicary practically dashes off back to his ship, and you're suddenly very alone in some extremely spooky corridors. Well, fuck. Time to get to exploring, you guess. You spend a decent amount of time wandering around the whole area, looping back in on itself over and over again. It's hard enough to get your bearings in here, let alone figure out where the exit to the residential sections of the ship is. The good news is that you're almost completely somewhat confident that this remarkably same-feeling corridor will be the right one. You turn another corner, and you're struck by a singular thought. You're thinking of a maze again, mostly because the ship's corridors are laid out like one, and you have no idea where to go next. If you didn't know any better, you'd swear it was getting darker, not that the ship's already super well lit. Haze? You're pretty sure it's already went this way. Why the heck is it getting so cold? Ah! That scream echoes through the hall. Nanda! What the hell? As the scream echoes through the hollow metal corridors, you stumble forward across the hallway into a hatch you didn't even notice before. Tripping sideways, you find yourself falling. Oh shit. This can't possibly be real. You were just in Spirulida. How can you suddenly be here again? Are you even here?
My dear reader, I think you underestimate how thin the walls between reality and fiction are here. Not to mention your own annoying tendency to sidestep both causality and any sense of proper decorum. Which is to say, you're here now, at least, in a sense.
What?
No, you are unbelievably obtuse. We are talking across both time and space. Across the infinite void of the narrative itself. I would have thought that was clear enough.
This isn't the first time someone says stuff like this to you. Is he planning to talk past you now too? To address whatever it is that sits on the other side of the screen? Another entity that exists right beyond the scope of your comprehension.
What are you talking about? I can assure you, the only entity that exists outside of your comprehension is myself.
A strange feeling washes over you, a feeling like the world just got another crack in it.
I'm still prepared to be reasonable, you know. Your actions are like tossing stones into a pond. The ripples spread and intersect.
He sounds a lot more angry. He sounds a lot less whimsically old-timey. British.
Are you prepared to deal with those consequences?
You don't know, is he? Scratch laughs at you.
Oh, my dear reader, this is simply too much. I am perhaps the only true constant in this world. If you care at all about your own well-being, you should find a comfortable hole to crawl into, and never crawl back out again.
You awake to total darkness and absolutely vile taste in your mouth. What happened? Last you remember, you were passing out on the floor. If movies had taught you anything, you should have woken up in some strangest room with a rude word scrawled on your forehead, or with some concerned faces peering down on you. Not whatever this is. Ugh, and the taste of your mouth is only getting worse. It's like someone put burning shrimp in your mouth and then doused the flames with sweat. Your spit isn't gonna cut it. You need to wipe your tongue off. You can't move. Something has your entire body trapped, pressing down on you and keeping you from moving your limbs. Fantastic. Awareness slowly creeps back in, and you can feel something lukewarm and vaguely squishy pressing all. Hold on. This is still okay for me. This is still okay for me to play, right? To record.
Come on, you gotta help me with this!
I am here to ward off any of the vengeful dead.
Your head is killing you, and your body's sore all over.
I'll help.
Finally! Just pull these two off the top and...
Wait a minute, is that?
What the fuck is that?
What do you mean?
What? Let me see.
What do you mean, what the fuck is that? It's me. Yo, what up? Your excitement at seeing your old friend Diemen again is only exceeded by your excitement at seeing Fozzer, and you think that's Charun there? Their face is covered with a mask, but you recognize their voice. But your excitement is soon tempered when it finally hits you what's happening. Corpses. You're buried in corpses. Dead trolls fill the entirety of the bin you're lying in, covered in all manner of gruesome injuries. One right next to your face is covered in burns, another just like a torso, guts spilling out the bottom, a third is shriveled up like a deflated balloon. You need to get out of here. You open your mouth to scream for help, but something heavy impacts the top of the corpse pile, driving all the air from your lungs. By the time you have your breath back, the cover has returned, and you're once more plunged into darkness. This time, when unconsciousness comes, it's a blessing.
See, I told you it was weird.
Weird is an understatement. This is the most fucked up troll I've ever seen.
How bizarre. Its body is almost entirely nondescript, except for the markings here on its face.
Also, what the fuck is up with Fozzer's fucking voice? Excuse the fuck out of me. Excuse the fuck out of me. And Diemen, I still don't know how to say his name. But why does he sound like a fucking helljack? Why does Fozzer sound like a goddamn robot? Charun makes sense. But what the fuck? Bruh.
Oh, I drew those.
Bruh.
Why?
It looks so nondescript. Does it matter? Nothing this mutated could possibly be.
Did it just twitch?
Your head, where are you now? You open your eyes, find yourself in a modestly decorated living space, staring you down at the three friends from before. You recognize these trolls. You know these trolls. You befriended these trolls. Through some serendipitous miracle, you find yourself staring at a familiar face. A friendly face.
Fozzer, if it stares at me like that for 3 more seconds, exercise it and dump the body in the furnace.
Hey, you're not in it. You're a... Wait, what are your pronouns? You never really got the topic much thought, and you don't really have... It's they, them, at the moment. Sign gender. Considering as far as you're aware, you're more of a narrative construct given flesh. Maybe you are in it. Your opponent was taking more than 3 seconds, because a new figure steps in front of you, pushing the head of a staff into your chest.
Foul creature, prepare to be cast out. I fought...
Oh, Fozzer doesn't need to introduce himself. You know his name already.
What?
Yeah, well, Diemen said it earlier, but you knew him before that. Does he not remember you?
I have absolutely no memory of anything even remotely resembling you.
Okay, that's a bit disheartening to hear, but when you first met him, Fozzer was going through some weird shit that you never really fully understood, so maybe that fucked with his memory or something. Diemen remembers you, right? You went on the grand adventure through the sewers of snacks and sweet sausage.
That does sound like something I do.
Sounds like it, he was there.
Listen, I really don't remember a lot of what happened right after my Lucis died and my hive was destroyed. I was going through a lot at the time.
You can't really argue with that. Having your house firebombed with your parents still in it is probably really traumatizing, you assume. You never actually had a parent, but if you did and these were exploded, you're probably really sad. You have to make like 30 friends to cheer you up.
Before you ask, I remember absolutely nothing before my ascension, because apparently I had some sort of disorder or something.
Yeah, because I don't... Your thing, Charun, was like... I don't know. I don't think... We have the 3 most mentally absent motherfuckers in one room. Oh, joy.
But I have pills now, so I can actually think and have energy to do things and stuff.
Fuck yeah, medication. Yeah. We love treating oneself in ways that matter. Really? Damn, that fucking sucks. You and Charun did all that art talk. Thinking about it, you really can't blame Charun for not remembering you. You did just kind of show up, talk about art with them, and leave. Also, they were completely off their fucking gourd by something. Like, mentally, they weren't there. So, I'm glad that they are now actually cognizant. So, that's a step up. Diemen gives you a flat stare.
So you're telling me that you've met all 3 of us on 3 completely separate occasions, all 3 of us forgot about you, and you've just so happened to reunite with all 3 of us at the same time?
What a coincidence! Yes?
Well, what are the fucking odds?
Yeah. The slap he gives you back sends you tumbling your knees.
Whoa, you okay, pal? I know I must have filled out a bit since last you saw me, but I don't think I'm that strong. When was the last time you ate anything?
That's a very good question. You have no idea. For all you know, your body has started digesting itself for nutritions.
Oh yeah, wouldn't have been the first time I've seen that. Stay right there and I'll get you some food.
With that completely unexpected announcement, Diemen appears through the door, leaving you with Fozzer and Charun. So, sorry about the whole screaming thing before. You were pretty freaked out when you first woke up, you know, on account of the corpses. Look, that Fozzer and Charun give you suggests that this doesn't strike them to be especially abnormal. Did you mention they were a ghost?
It would not surprise me at all. The vengeful dead are part and parcel of what we do.
Occupational hazard.
Oh, okay, but you did mention a ghost, right? And all the corpses?
Yes, a couple times now. Well, I'm going to my room to get ready for dinner.
Deuces. Hey, Fozzer. So, hey there, Fozzer.
Greetings, foul demon.
Yeah, he really doesn't remember you.
Not at all.
Fine. Oh, wow, there's a lot of books here. Has Fozzer read all these? You're not sure you've seen this many books in one place forever, except at the library, but you don't think the librarians are expected to read all the books. Or maybe they're on Alternia. You ask Fozzer if Alternian librarians, which are probably some sort of silly troll name like Libarbarians or something, have read all the books in their libraries. Libarbaries.
What? No, that's ridiculous. All Empire-controlled sources of information are staffed by drones to prevent the dissemination of improper knowledge to the lower castes.
Oh right, Alternia sucks. You forgot about that for a second. Fozzer's side seems relaxed a bit.
Feel free to take a look around. If you see something interesting, just ask.
This is throwing me for a fucking loop. I should have went with somebody else. That's my bad. What the fuck?
About the books, not the other things you ask questions about.
Let's see. What do you remember from Alternia? You know that Fozzer doesn't really remember you.
Not in the slightest.
And you know that you showing up by nowhere is extremely unusual.
Extremely.
But you swear you've met before. You were in a graveyard and you met him and talked about... You're not sure exactly. But you think it was like troll Marxism? Doesn't that ring a bell? Then there was a big flash of light and his whole personality changed. Seriously? None of this is sounding familiar at all.
Well, I do remember my time in the graveyard.
Well, that's good.
But it feels as if it were a deep and distant dream.
Fuck.
And then I remember dreams of a deep, booming voice and a green that felt like a warm blanket all around me. I didn't need to worry about anything anymore.
You feel a weird crawling sensation all along your back.
But it's hard to recall it now.
You've got to say he seems a lot less enthusiastic about the Empire than he was when you last saw him. Fozzer's quiet now, and he doesn't look like he really wants to talk about this.
There's more to that story than we have time for at present. Perhaps later.
Sure, buddy.
Was there anything else?
Why, as a matter of fact, what do you do here? You're not exactly clear on what's going on here. You were buried in a pile of corpses, so you know there's corpses involved in this process. What does Fozzer do? R.e. all the corpses.
I'm responsible for ensuring that vengeful and aggrieved spirits don't manifest in our physical reality.
Oh shit, so he's one of the people that Stelsa mentioned.
I assure you, I have no idea who Stelsa is.
No, you mean he's one of the people who helps with the ghosts, keeps the shit from getting all haunted and stuff, right? Fozzer nods thoughtfully.
Yes, that is correct. I'm one of the exorcists responsible for handling the ghosts.
Neat, you'd love to pick his brain about that sometime.
Excuse me? I will not allow you to touch any of my internal organs.
No, it's a figure of speech. Never mind, you'll ask the ghost some other time, you guess.
Was there anything else?
Matter of fact, what's up with the books?
You will have to be more specific. As you can see, I have a number of books.
It would take you ages to go through all these books in detail, but if you catch try, there's an entire row dedicated to a single series, a simple graphic of a Lucis that looks a lot like a pig replacing the spot on the spine where the title would normally be. At the top of the nightstand is a pamphlet displaying some sort of humanoid plant with the multiple eyes and way too many fangs for you to feel comfortable. The cover reads Domination Guide Species 93872 Color Edition and promises to contain secret tips, tricks, and cheats to dealing with whatever alien this is. Finally, you see a shelf that's filled with a series of dusty titles like Subjugator Championship Wrestling with Faith, Troll Judaism in the Age of Interstellar Diaspora, and Snooked. And Snookered, how one troll invented a moon cult from scratch. The moon cult! Are these religious texts? Maybe Fozzer's changed more than you realize.
Was there anything else?
No. What's with the Domination Guide about?
Every time a new sapient species is encountered, the Empire publishes a Domination Guide, explaining how to best turn them into workers for the colonies. There are quite a few species out there, and the methods needed to tame them can vary immensely.
That makes sense, you suppose. Even if the idea of interstellar imperialism strikes you as pretty evil, you're not quite sure you can count as human, but the thought of a human domination guide being printed one day makes you feel queasy. Why does Fozzer even own these?
I'm expected to spend the rest of my life on this ship. Whether I agree with the Empire's practices or not, the guides are one of the only ways I'm ever going to experience the universe outside of these walls.
That makes a weird kind of sense, even if it is an incredibly depressing thought. Fozzer shrugged and you can see his expression sour.
Yes, I suppose.
You think it's probably enough for now. You get the sense that you're kind of annoying Fozzer by being here, and you got other stuff to do.
I suppose. It was nice to talk to a fellow appreciator of fine Alternian non-fiction literature, in any case. Perhaps you'd like to take some of this along for later perusal.
You're not sure if... he's already jammed several books into your arms. Handbook for the presently relieved of life. Oh, that's morbid. And a species guide, too. That definitely seems normal. And something called the cast and their particular maladies. That looks like, let's call it moderately to severely biased.
I've got more you can borrow if you ever find yourself in need.
No, you think this is good for now. You flip through the books Fozzer gave you, hope for some words of wisdom. Here's something. Caused by... What? The Rust Bloods. Rust or Bronze Bloods. Caused by a mutation of the genes regulating the formation of a troll's exoskeleton.
Ungulatism manifests as rapid buildup of exoskeletal material on a troll's hands or feet, resembling the hooves of certain grazing loci. Depending on the extent of the mutation, exoskeletal material may grow within the limbs as well, causing clothing which causing clotting, which can lead to premature expiration. Edible. What? Edible? Huh? Cat has in their particular. What? How enlightening? Well, that was certainly something. You figure you can come back to these whenever you want, and kind of more insight into alternate culture. Probably some kind of icon in the upper right of the UI, if you were for some reason in a video game right now. You laugh nervously at Fozzer, who simply fixes you with a strange look. Okay, cool, good chat. Let's go to Charun. It's a lot of fun. We wanted to catch up with the other old friend Charun.
I don't know that any of us would fit the category of old friend to you.
Oh, those are small details. You're sure Charun will be absolutely thrilled to get the chance to talk to you a little bit more. Totally. No wonder quarters looking for Charun. Most of the doors to rooms have symbols and names on them, so it's not like you're completely lost. I want to flip through the book. Words of wisdom. Here's something. The afterlife. I want to emphasize that the afterlife, despite the existence of ghosts, is by no means a settled question. Our understanding is that ghosts exist in a liminal space between life and death. The background and what happens when they are fully exercised is completely unknown. Don't let that deter you. After all, it might be better. Sick. How enlightening? Finally, you find Charun's room and knock softly.
What is it? If you want to come in, you can.
Sick. Wow. God. There's a lot of stuff. Charun was always the, hoarder? The 8-ball. Damn 8-ball. We need to get rid of that thing. Go! There's a lot to unpack. Inside the respite block is an absolute chaotic nightmare of stuff. There's posters and action figures and books and a surprisingly robust collection of skulls.
Oh, you're there.
They sound tired, but not in the probably need immediate medical intervention kind of way back on Alternia a couple sweeps ago. More like just tired from having to work for the Empire.
You could say that. Tired. That's one way to put it.
They sigh.
Is there something you wanted?
Well, as a matter of fact, do you remember anything from Alternia?
To be perfectly honest, not very much.
Really? Nothing at all? Don't you remember hanging out in the trash?
That does sound like me, but no, not really. What I remember from Alternia is more like a sense of place, you know? I remember being there, but not really what I was doing there.
Charun shrugs and smiles vaguely. I have a sneaking suspicion that a lot of the changes of characters and whatnot is mainly because the base game did fucking nothing with them. Or they were such a non-character that they had to essentially make a new character from scratch, you know? That seems like what's happening with all three of these characters.
Weird thing to say for someone who grew up there, I guess.
Do you remember Ascension and the ordeals? You have a hard time picturing exactly what that consists of. From talking to your friends, you got the sense that it was a combination of various kinds of tests, military training and professional education. You're not sure. All the bloods you've been talked to recently were in the army, and are on the run from being recruited into the army, so...
Don't think I'm much cut out for that.
Charun flexes one of their arms jokingly and smiles.
Are you all set?
No, there was something else. What do you do here? Like, are there any corprocessor or something like that? You seem to vaguely recall another one of your friends using that word once. Charun shrugs and smiles.
Kind of. Core processing is so much simpler. Just take the bodies and dump them in a pile somewhere.
To be fair, you were recently in a pile of bodies.
Sure, but that's just step one of the process.
Okay, good to know there's a process at least, but what do they do specifically?
Take everything off the corpses, give them a good home.
Which, judging by the side of things, is in their respite block. Charun doesn't bother to dignify that with a response.
I check for anything dangerous when we're processing the bodies, like explosives.
Is that common?
More than you might think. Or less, depending on your frame of reference.
Yeah, okay. Wow, that definitely feels like an important note for later.
Are you all set?
No, there was something else. Are there the Purple Bloods on this ship? You got a distinct impression it's a Purple Blood ship, but you haven't actually seen any Purple Bloods anywhere. The people you've talked to and even the bodies you've seen are mostly Lower Bloods. Oh god, are the Purple Bloods killing the Lower Bloods for sport? Is that all that they do once they go through Ascension?
You're good at jumping to conclusions, aren't you?
Oh, yes they are.
So no sport killing, Charun shrugs.
I don't know. There's purples on the upper levels, but they never come down here. And the bodies come from all over the place, actually. Spiritual significance, I guess.
They all fall down.
In all the time we've been here, we never gave much thought to the why of it.
Charun shrugs his shoulders and smiles vaguely.
Sorry, I'm not actually sure. I just do my job. But I know that these folks aren't all being killed on the ship.
Do you feel like the word all is important there? You're not going to say anything right away. Probably important to keep in mind for later. Maybe not.
Are you all set?
Not yet. You seem a lot more clear-headed.
What do you mean by that?
Well, just they seem to be more coherent when they talk. Less sedated, more lucid. They're not even breaking their sentences up as part of their quirk, and you don't think that's just because it's a nightmare of a quirk to automate.
What does any of that mean?
Never mind. Just they seem to be doing better is a weird thing to say. Which is a weird thing to say given how much Ascension generally sucks for trolls.
I don't know that I'd say I'm doing better. Life here is hard. And I'm going to die here, I know it. The only positive is I get my pills now.
They mentioned that before, but it wasn't clear what they did exactly. Some kind of medicine, you assume? Charun nods and grins at you.
They make me feel less foggy. Does that make sense?
Well, yes.
I had a condition that made it hard for me to think, and it was getting worse.
It seems to you that Charun is describing some kind of antidepressant or something like that. You're not sure if that maps exactly to your knowledge of human psychology, but you're glad your friend is feeling better, or so you nod and smile.
Still, I wish I could go back to Alternia sometimes.
Well, you're not going to make any wild promises, but maybe they can. I consider possibly of leaving, like going back to Alternia.
That's crazy. Everyone knows it's forbidden. The only people who get to live on Alternia are on special assignment. Or like the heiress in her palace.
Charun shrugs.
And the rebels, I guess.
Right, exactly. Charun's eyes grow wide and shake their head vigorously.
You shouldn't say stuff like that. You never know who's listening. Besides, it's not that bad here. We get food, we aren't being eaten by anything.
That's pretty fair.
Honestly, it's fine.
All in all, it could be worse. Charun is looking increasingly done with your bullshit, and you feel like it might be nice to leave them alone for a little while. Time to go find some other way to make a nuisance of yourself. Look for Diemen's room, for snooping. So, quick question, you're not really late to anything at all, but do you happen to know where Diemen's room is?
Yes, but they're not there right now.
No, you're just trying to get a sense of the vibes, not trying to snoop or anything.
What? I didn't say anything about that.
Okay, bye! You're not sure where Diemen's room is exactly, but you're overcome with the powerful urge to snoop. So little details like knowing where you're going hardly even matter. Let's take a look at the book for reference. Fozzer gave you some words of wisdom. Here's something. In addition to the useful tools we provided, we encourage you to talk to senior staff and ask for their valuable input. They can help ensure that the zombies go in the incinerators. The spirit host bodies go into isolation, and everyone else goes in the protein grinder in the sky. That is our protein grinder. We are technically in the sky. Oh, and if you happen to run into a rainbow drinker, make sure that you hit that emergency button ASAP. Huh. How enlightening. You spend a good 10 minutes wandering, but eventually you find something that you think is probably Diemen's room. It's got this symbol on the door and his name written roughly in Alternian script. Oh wow, okay. This is exactly what you expected. The room is stark, brightly lit, and almost completely unfurnished, other than a Recuperacoon and the fish tank sitting over there. The whole place looks like something out of the showroom in a particularly avant-garde furniture store. You guess you can look around? Fish! The fish tank sits up against the wall, filled with sand and plants, along with a couple of small purple fish swimming lazily around. You've got no idea how Diemen even got this here, much less populated with living fish. Maybe the fish are kind of weird parasite that lives in corpses. That honestly wouldn't be too far-fetched given everything else you've seen. The books. There aren't even that many books here, just a couple hardcovers coated in a fine layer of dirt and grime. You can barely even make out the titles. Looking at the few pages, looks like they're core processing manuals full of information on how to properly prepare bodies. Gross. Hopefully your experiences with dead bodies are over and done with. Lol. Look at the Recuperacoon. Your Recuperacoon looks like it's the same basic model as the other ones you've seen, basically everywhere, nothing special at all. But as you look closer at it, you start to notice small differences between the Recuperacoon here and some of the other ones you've seen before. The slime looks like it's a slightly different shade of green, and a quick check with your fingers you know it's slightly more viscous as well. You feel like all this means something, but you have no idea what. Just another piece of information stored in your mental files to pester someone about later. You think you've probably exhausted all your options in this surprisingly minimalist room. Maybe it'd be better to do something else? As you turn to leave the room, something catches your eye. A piece of paper, half crumpled and stuck between the Recuperacoon and the nightstand. Unable to resist the siren song of invading other people's privacy, you glance down at the form. It looks like some kind of handwritten medical report. You're not sure who prepared it, but it doesn't take you long to skim through. It sounds like Diemen is having problems with memory loss, low energy, and occasional difficulty speaking. It kind of sounds like what Charun was going through back on Alternia. You wonder if Diemen can get the same kind of pills for his condition. Before you have a chance to really interrogate that, your stomach begins to rumble. Your stomach begins to rumble uncomfortably, and you realize that it's been ages since you last ate anything. You should have grabbed some overpriced food back in the bar, but that ship has long since sailed and sunk far beneath the waves. Instead, you decide to find your way to where the food is. Moshi moshi. The cafeteria is filled with other trolls, all sitting around and eating in small groups. They are very cute. Yeah. Sorry. What maybe filled with is overselling it. Why is this motherfucker on the floor, underneath the table, sleeping? Ay, ay, ay. There's a handful of other trolls here. You can't help but wonder what they all do down here.
Support stuff, mostly. Keep the lights on, keep the pipes from blowing up too much.
Why are they all dressed so differently than Charun and Fozzer, then? Because they don't work on disposing of bodies that come to the ship?
Simply a product of differing social expectations. This is the uniform as the ship's main expert on the recently deceased.
Cool, and what's up with Charun's outfit?
I just like dressing like this. Who's gonna stop me?
That's pretty fair. Okay, good point, actually. So, where's something I actually want to talk about now that they're both here? Something you found in Diemen's room. Two of them look extremely confused, glancing back and forth between each other.
Well, what is it? Don't continue to make us suffer the sting of your silence.
Well, while you were investigating Diemen's room, you happen to find evidence that he's suffering from some kind of medical condition that could probably use treatment. Standard disclaimers that you're not an Alternian doctor apply, of course.
There's really no way to know.
Actually, we could use the scanner we use for examining bodies.
Okay, but what if Diemen is some kind of medical problem? Is there, like, a doctor you can take him to? The length of this pause is making you really uncomfortable with what the answer is going to be.
Medical facilities are locked off by blood color.
Okay, that's not ideal, but you think you might have another solution. You know that they don't really remember you, and you're kind of coming out of left field with this, but you can find people to help. You lower your voice and lean in, not sure how much you want the other trolls in the cafeteria to hear this. You see, there's rebels fighting the Empire. There's rebels.
Yeah, no shit. Everyone knows that.
Okay, well, what if you told me you happen to know some of these rebels? People who might be able to help Diemen get away from here, to help all of them get away from here. Rebels can probably find medical care for Diemen and help all of them get away from the Empire.
Working together, like a collective of some kind. Interesting.
Yeah, exactly. You've seen plenty of evidence that trolls are perfectly able to work together, and this is a chance to use that to do something good rather than focus on galactic conquest for an empress that sees them as mere pawns.
I mean, at least the pawn has access to the laser eyes upgrade.
Okay, you really do not understand how Alternian chess works. Before you have the chance to close the loop on these thoughts, you hear a crackling noise, unfamiliar voice comes onto a public address system.
Attention body disposal. Please report to processing room 1 immediately. This is a priority assignment.
I'm watching you, Wazowski. Oh. Sorry.
Shit. Where's Diemen?
Diemen.
It's gonna be such a pain in the bulge without him.
Hey, don't worry about that. Let's take it easy.
Absolutely unacceptable. We need someone to help handle the processing duties.
That's what I'm here for. Well, good thing I got someone right here. You just mean-foot yourself and waggle your eyebrows.
I guess we could let them help.
I fear you are likely woefully unqualified for this.
Damn right. That's okay. You do stuff you're unqualified for all the time. Acting as an unlicensed attorney, semi-professional graphic design, acting as an unlicensed therapist.
Fine, let's just go. We'll get in trouble if we wait for Diemen.
It is imperative that you understand the gravity of this situation.
It's imperative that I save. I haven't saved it all yet. Doopa boopa. Oh yeah, you're all about gravity, like black holes and shit.
I'm not joking. If we fail in our duties, it can have severe consequences, both for us and the ship's crew at large.
Please don't fuck up and kill us. That's the point here.
I will try my best. You follow Charun and Fozzer through the series of unfamiliar corridors, finally arriving at a heavy door with a series of warning signs in Alternian all over it. The inside of the room reminds you vaguely of an old-timey operating room, but everything is kind of grungy and gross. You're guessing that the sterile conditions aren't super important when it comes to processing corpses. As you're looking around trying to get your bearings, Charun tosses you a heavy apron and feels like it's made out of thick leather.
You'll need this.
You struggle to put on the apron while Charun and Fozzer both move around the room preparing various objects. You can't help but wonder if they'll explain what it is you're supposed to actually be doing.
Ensure that the souls of the departed rest easy, or at least their non-corporeal residue essence.
Fozzer's not much for the concept of the soul.
Material reality supports no such conclusion.
Well, you know, except for all the ghosts.
Manifestations of energy and nothing more, potentially.
The autocratic decision-making entity is still out on that one.
In any case, you'll be needing this.
Fozzer hands you a small tablet, like your palm husk but less flashy. Oh, you're hoping for a pamphlet, actually. That kind of contains a series of colorful illustrations and guidance in helpful text form.
Alright, I've got a hot plate of bread loaf waiting, so let's get this shit done with. I'll send down the first body. You figure out what to do with it.
Okay, everyone ready?
Let's rock.
I am attending my assigned position.
You have no idea what you're doing, none whatsoever. Charun sighs alongside to put their hand firmly on your shoulder.
It's really quite simple. As the one handling the physical bodies, you'll be guiding the process. First, a body will be deposited on the table.
Got it.
Next, I will be examining their possessions to look for objects that might hamper our efforts.
Okay. So you look for possessions. Charun begins rooting around the body, going through their clothes, finally pulls something out of the corpse's pockets.
For example, this concussion grenade would have likely caused a catastrophic failure in the recycling system, killing all of us. So, no pressure.
Sick! Great, what happens next? Fozzer steps forward.
We'll have to be alert for signs of the incursion of vengeful or otherwise dissatisfied spirits. For example, the presence of a spirit is often accompanied by strange voices or a sudden drop in temperature.
What in the goddamn phasmophobia? You notice the thermometer off to the side. Well, it looks like it's holding steady. No voices either. Fozzer stops a second and closes his eyes, concentrating.
I sense no sign that this body is haunted.
Sick. Cool, that's probably a good thing, so what now?
Now it's your turn to shine. You need to inspect the body physically. See, there's a chance that the body won't actually be dead. Kind of. A small chance that they might come back as a zombie.
You take a step back from the body, suddenly very aware of just how close it is to you. So how do you tell if a body is going to be a zombie or not?
You can expect the corpse for lesions, I believe. Diemen would know more.
Yeah, well, he ain't here. You grab scalpel and a bone, hacking thingy, and begin to hasty autopsy. Time to get to the bottom of this. You set the scalpel and tongs down. Looks like you learned about all that you're going to from this body. Alright. All the blood, stray jaw ulcers, several organs appear to have failed before death. Fleet Depot 1111. Spare socks, pocket change, an unloaded handgun, an ID card, and a concussion grenade.
And he left his stethoscope to listen for the signs of a zombie coming back to life.
Which are Fozzer shrugs.
I'm afraid I don't know. Perhaps an unusual noise of some kind. Corpses are typically not supposed to make noise.
You take the stethoscope and begin to listen carefully, trust chest and stomach, listen for unusual sounds. As you listen, you don't hear anything out of the ordinary, which is, you assume, typical for dead bodies.
And once you've done everything, you need to tag the body.
Tag and bag. Tag 'em and bag 'em. With the heavy noise, the body gets shunted into the weird face on the left. You assume that's the recycler.
Normally they go into recycling, but contaminated bodies need to go into the incinerator. And haunted corpses need to be interned for further processing.
Be careful, however. Interning worthless corpses will only draw the wrath of our superiors.
Having a certain amount of exposure while turning fleet senior officers, you feel like it would be good to avoid that.
Yeah, no shit.
Okay, cool. You got this. You indeed got this shit. Alright.
Are you done catching the new Rusty up? I'll send down the next few bodies. Just remember,
Right.
time is ticking on these.
Let's rock. Corpses, please! Alright, let's save here. No, wait. Here. Alright. Let's see.
Clock's ticking, time's giggers. Hurry the fuck up.
Okay.
Just give me a second to see if they have anything dangerous.
Trying to switch to the body's possessions.
Yeah, you should probably empty their pockets before you do anything.
Okay.
Stand back while I invoke the restless spirits and show them to the anteroom of the beyond.
Yeah, shut up. Concentrates.
Everything appears to be normal.
Okay. Listen carefully. You don't hear that in ordinary. Sick! You want to buy slips into our recycling tube. You wonder what it is they actually do with them.
Finally, my ass was starting to cramp up.
You got a weak ass. Alright, that was one.
Look, you fucked this up and into your asses, not mine.
But I thought your ass was cramping up.
Just give me a second to see if they have anything dangerous. They're good. Nothing that'll explode anyway.
What is this? Personal leather. Personal letter.
You like that?
Stand back while I invoke the restless spirits and show them to the anteroom of the beyond. Everything appears to be normal.
Okay, that's... And now we listen. You don't think you did right at all. All you could hear was the sound of blood rushing in your ears. Maybe some gurgling, but you aren't sure. This means that, More movies. You glance so quick and there it is. A low skulking form you really should have tossed in the incinerator. Well, shit. Well, damn. Okay. Blood rushing was probably one of those. I probably should have thrown an incinerator. Yeah, you're right. Oh, God. No! The peanut gallery, no! Oh, man. That wasn't even like a... I just fucked up. I fully admit that. I took too long. God damn it. What the fuck do you want? Who are you? You find yourself once again in the featureless void of bad decisions and cryptic comments. Lobdag, huh? Doesn't exactly go off the tongue in our humble opinion. Oh, there's a new one, and it's spewing gibberish at you. Wonderful. You seem upset. Want to talk about it, or think in a way that allows us to view your internal monologue, as the case may be? Of course you're upset. You only end up in this place when you fuck up so bad. The only way to make things right is to undo whatever it is you did. Usually it involves dying, which shockingly sucks. We'd rather you stay dead. We may be able to do something about that if you like. It would throw a wrench into things for sure, and all that salvation and revolution stuff would be for nothing, but the offer is there if you want it. No, that's not what you meant. You've been doing this for how long now? Long enough. About a year our time, but that doesn't mean much to you. However long it's been, you have nothing left to show for it. Just moving forward into more mistakes and more death. You've done more than you think. We know it's hard to see from where you are. Most progress is. From where we're sitting, though, you've come a long way from serving as a vehicle for vague homoeroticism and jokes about how hot dogs are pretty phallic. You care about people now. You found something to fight for. So just keep fighting a little longer. You're so close to the finish line. And don't be afraid to fuck up. You could always use a chat. I don't want to chat with you motherfuckers. But surprisingly, Mage of Rage, you've been delightful. Thank you.